Hello there, welcome back to the Lazy Arquitecto show, where we show up here each Sunday at 10 a.m. That is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania time in the United States. So, thank you for being here today. If you are new, my name is Irving. So I'm here with the goal of saving you a little bit of time using AutoCAD, right? So we're gonna start the show soon, and I'm gonna start reading some of your comments. Some people are writing on the chat already. That's awesome. Let me know how are you doing today. I always like to know about you before we start the live streams. So let's see. So before I start reading some of your comments, and before we create this awesome dynamic blog for today, have a couple of things to mention. The first thing is that I want to say, where is it? I want to say hi to our new YouTube member. So yeah, Fabiola Allende, thank you for supporting our work on YouTube as a YouTube member. And thank you to all of you, right, who are on my screen. These are folks that believe on my work, on what I do, which is save time in AutoCAD, and they decided to support us either as a YouTube member or as a Patreon. Thank you very much. So that's the first thing I want to mention. And the other thing, before we start reading some of your comments, let me know how are you doing today, is that we are having a CAD meeting, our first CAD meeting. That's awesome. I'm very excited for that because I'm gonna finally meet some of you guys like in face to face in a Zoom meeting. So that's very excited for that. The date is on January 29th. That's Saturday at 10 a.m. So if you are a supporter of my work, if you're a YouTube member, you can join that CAD meeting. All of the details and the Zoom link is on the membership tab on the channel. If you don't know, I'm gonna show it really quick so you can just so let's see, 1 second over here. All right. Okay, so if you go to the Lazy Arquitecto page for YouTube, there is a membership tab over here once you become a member, of course, and you will find all of our past live streams as well as the invitation to join our CAD meeting this Saturday. Again, if you expand this, you will see the Zoom link and all of that information. All right, so that will be fun. All right, let's start reading some of your comments. So my friend Douglas is on the chat, says good morning, Irving. Hope all is well with you and the family. Just Duke, good morning. Family is well, thank you for asking. Yeah, so we're good, and hopefully you and your family are doing well also. Duke, thank you for being here with us today. So we also have Jeff Wellington, says good morning from sunny Tampa. Wow, that's awesome, Jeff. So thank you for letting us know where are you connecting from. For people who don't know, I'm connecting from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the United States. So yeah. All right, so I think we're ready to start the show for today, where we're gonna create this awesome dynamic blog. I'm gonna share an interesting technique that you can use to save time in AutoCAD. And as always, I want to say that you can interrupt me at any time during my presentation. So that way we can make this a more interactive experience, right? You have a question or a suggestion, just put it on the chat and I will be able to read it live. All right. So I think we're ready to start the show with 5 people connected. And that's awesome that you keep showing up here with the show, the Lazy Arquitecto show. All right, so let's start. Okay. So as you can see over here on my screen, I have AutoCAD open, of course. So let me close a couple of these palettes that I don't need for this presentation. And I'm gonna open my blocks palette. So today's live stream, to give you a brief introduction, is sometimes happen that whenever we insert a block, for instance, I'm in my block palette, right, in AutoCAD. So whenever we insert a block, sometimes we need a way to flip that block while we insert it. For example, I'm going to use a door block here, but this technique will apply for any type of block, right? If you are an electrician, you might need a block that when you insert it, you always have to flip it. So if you are an engineer, of course, the same. But for architecture, a good example is a door block. So sometimes happen that when I insert a door, like I'm gonna click on it right from my blocks palette, and you can see over here I have a sketch that will give me the idea how the door is flipped. So if I, of course, click over here in this point, and I can place my door quickly like that. However, if I go to this other case, you can see that the door is flipped on the other direction. So in this case, I will probably just place it even though I know it's wrong. And then I will keep placing my doors till I finish. And then once I'm done placing my doors, I'll have to go back and fix my door, right? Mirroring or flipping it, right, like so. And of course all of this is manually, so I will have to using the mid between 2 points, flip my door like so. Now this will give you some trouble because you might miss a door here and there. So today's live stream is how can we create this block or add some parameters or actions so that when we insert our block, any block, right, in this case is a door, but as again, if you are an engineer, you might have a block that you always have to flip on the fly. So that's what we're gonna try to do today. So let me erase all of these doors. And let's start with the technique. But before, we have a comment on the chat, and it's our friend Kumar. Says, good morning, sir. Good morning, Kumar. I'm glad you're here with us today. As always, that's awesome. So we have 9 people connected live. That's great. I'm very excited for that. That more and more people are showing up each Sunday at 10 a.m. So yeah, thank you, Kumar, for being here. So let's keep moving. Now, so how can we achieve this, right? How can we insert a block and have the ability to flip it on the fly, right, while inserting it? So again, I'm gonna use the door for this example. So my door is this one over here, a dynamic block that we created on a past live stream. But you can apply the technique with any block that you need to flip, right, while inserting. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is make this dynamic block a block. So let me show you. I'm gonna use the V shortcut to create a block, and I'm gonna call this door explode, something like that, because we're gonna need to explode this block in order for this technique to work. So I'm gonna click OK. It says block already exists. Yeah, so I'm gonna just rename this explode and dash for now. So I'm gonna click OK, and now I'm gonna specify my base point. The base point is very important, needs to be where the actual block base point was. So in my case, for the door, I know my base point was over here. So I'm gonna click like so. As you can see, the block editor opens, and you can see that's where my base point was for this block. All right, so here we're gonna need a couple of things. The first thing that we're gonna need is of course, using our authoring palette, right? If you're not seeing it, let me close it. It's over here on the ribbon, authoring palette. You can simply click on it to activate it. So the first thing we're gonna need is a parameter. In this case, the parameter is gonna be the flip parameter, right? So following instructions says specify base point of reflection line. So I want the middle, so I'm gonna type N2P and press enter. I'm gonna click this middle point and then this other point, so that way I can move up and finally place again using the M2P. I'm gonna place or pick 2 points. So over here will be one, click, and then over here will be the second one, like so, right? So all I did is place my flip parameter, but exactly in the middle of my block. In this case, a door, but you might have another block, an arrow block, or anything that you need for your specific field, right? So after this, of course, if you've been following our tutorials, we know that an exclamation mark means there is something missing to this parameter, and the thing that is missing is an action. So let's add that action, and the action would be the flip, of course. So following instructions says select parameter. I'm gonna select this parameter, and then the objects would be all of them. So I'm gonna click everything and then press enter. All right, so let's quickly test this block before we keep adding more actions from parameters. So I'm gonna test my block, and let's see what's going on over here. So look what happened when I flip this block now, right? So I'm gonna click, and it actually flips. But we have a problem here, because as you can see, the base point is not flipping with my block, and that will cause problems when we insert our block, right? You can see the base point stays on one direction and doesn't follow the hinge side of my door. So let's quickly fix that. I'm gonna close the block editor, and a way that we can fix this is by adding a parameter. In this case would be the base point parameter. So let's select that, and following instructions, the location would be, of course, on the base point of my actual block, which is right here. So now we need to somehow add this new base point to our flip action. And the way we do it is selecting our flip action, right clicking on it, and say modify selection set. Then following our instructions on the command line, make sure the add option is selected, and we can add our base point like so, and then of course pressing enter. So let's quickly test this block, and let's see what happens now when we flip our block. Awesome, our base point also flips with our door so it always keeps on the hinge side. All right, so let's see what are some of the final steps. So we can close this block editor now and save the changes, of course. Now, once we have our door, in this case, let's go to our block palette over here. And let's find our block with the explode, right? Is this one over here. Door, explode, and a dash. As you can see, that's how we named our block. And let's see how we can use it. Before, we have a comment on the chat, and it's Felicia Hernández. Good morning, Lazy Arquitecto. Bien con las transmisiones en vivo, bendiciones. Good morning, Felicia. Gracias por estar con nosotros. For people who don't know, Spanish is my first language. So yeah, so let's keep moving. Oops. Did we lose the... Okay, I think we're good. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you, Felicia, for being here with us. Let's keep moving. Let's wrap up this live stream, and we will have some time to chat about AutoCAD or to listen to you on the comments, right? So we did the first part, which was adding these parameters and actions to any block or dynamic block that we have, that we need to flip it while inserting it. So the final steps are on the block palette. What we need to do, of course, this is our block right here, door, explode, and a dash. That's how we renamed it. So make sure let's not confuse, but it's this one. So a couple of things that we need to do here for this to work is we need to check the explode option over here. So if we check that, that's why we rename our block dash explode, right? Make sure repeat placement is checked, and also rotation. So those are the three things that we need to make sure are checked. And then finally, we need to open our properties palette. So I'm gonna do that with the PR shortcut. And let's see how we can now make this work. So I'm gonna use the block that we just created, door, explode, dash, and let's test this out. I'm gonna click that, and once I come here, I can simply select this point, rotate it like so, and over here I know I need the other the flip option right in the other side. As you can see it over here in this door, that's not a problem. I can go to my property palette, change the flip option, and that way I can quickly place my block like so. Awesome, right? So I will keep placing my door. I don't need to cancel the insertion command at this point. I can simply click adding doors like so. And finally, this other door over here, of course, I can click over here. And if I don't have this flip, I can go and flip my door again like so, and flip it and place it quickly like that, and I can cancel at this time. All of my doors were quickly inserted, and of course you can see it's a little the wall is a little thicker. That's not a problem. I can select all of my doors and quickly change the size of my let's see, this is probably a 6 inches wall, so I can change the wall thickness to 6 inches, right? Selecting all of them. So I'm gonna select all of them and go and change wall thickness to 6 inches, and you can see all of them are automatically updated, and I could quickly insert my doors and flip it on the fly. Right? So what do you think about this technique of inserting blocks and have the ability to flip them while inserting them, right? I applied this technique to this door because my my field is architecture. But if your field is engineer or any other field, you're always going to have a block that you need to flip it, right? So hopefully this technique was helpful to you. Let me know in the chat what do you think about this dynamic block technique. So I'm gonna start reading some of your comments now before we wrap up today's live stream. Xiomara Araujo says, good morning, sir. Good morning, Xiomara Araujo. Hopefully you learned something useful today, so that way you can insert your blocks quickly and more efficient in AutoCAD. Thank you for being here with us. And we also have Dropout Engineer is on the chat. Says, hello, sir. Hello, Dropout Engineer. Thank you for being here with us. Let us know what you think about today's technique for inserting dynamic blocks and also flip them while inserting them. Do you have any ideas on how are you gonna use this technique, right, in your field? I'm using it on a door right here because I'm flipping doors here and there, but you might have a specific block that you want to apply this technique. So let me know in the chat. I would like to know. Let's see, we have also Douglas on the chat. Douglas is saying, scaling the door I can do within that dynamic block. If I scale them as far as the width is concerned, how do you retain the thickness of the door? Douglas, I think you're misunderstanding the technique today. I'm not scaling my block with this technique. I'm only placing them and rotating them. As you can see, my scale is still 1. I'm not scaling these blocks, right? So we only applied a base point and a flip parameter, so those wouldn't affect the size of your block at all. So yeah, hopefully that clarifies your question, my friend Doug, because you're saying if I scale them as far as the width is concerned, how do you retain the thickness of the door? So yeah, we're not scaling that block with this technique. We created this block on a past live stream. You can check that out how we did it, but you can see that we can change the size of our door without scaling them, right? We're only changing the width. So if you are interested on that, you can check that live stream later. But we created this door here on the channel, Duke. So Kumar is also on the chat. Kumar says, yes, sir. Of course, that helped us a lot. Thank you, Kumar, for letting everybody know that. I'm sure it's gonna help you because, again, in my case, I don't like to insert my blocks and then try to check which ones I need to flip or mirror. So this way is more efficient, and also it doesn't let me trip over myself, right, by maybe forgetting a door that needs to be flipped here and there. So that's why I like this technique. I can quickly insert all of my blocks all at once and have no problem. Let's see, we have also our friend Douglas. Before we wrap up today's live stream, And don't forget our CAD meeting, right, for next Saturday, 29th. So I'm very excited for that. It's gonna be fun. Finally, I'm gonna meet some of you guys. That would be fun. I know I'm just asking if it's possible. Scaling the door, that would be another video topic, Douglas. So I might have to dig into that, and then if it's possible, of course, I can do a live stream. But that's a great suggestion for a future live stream, my friend Duke. You're asking how to scale it while inserting it, I believe. But that's a great idea. So thank you for sharing. So we have also our friend Duke says, do you use AutoCAD Architecture at all? I use both and just wondering if you use it. That's a good question. And I use them both, but at the office where I work, this architecture office, for some people who might not know, they only use the regular AutoCAD. So over there, I will again use the AutoCAD, the regular one, but for my personal use, I use both AutoCAD Architecture and the regular AutoCAD. So I might do a video about both, comparing them. So that's a good idea, Duke. Thank you for always bringing up these good ideas for future videos. Yeah, so let's see if we have more comments or questions before we wrap up today's live stream. So let's see. All right, I think, oops, I'm having a technical difficulty here where my second monitor just went blank, so I cannot see any of your comments, but uh-oh. All right, nice, I'm back. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap up today's live stream over here. Is good, so I can ask you questions when I need to. Says Duke, says awesome as always, have a great week. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day, and we're gonna be live here next Sunday at 10 a.m. Oh, and don't forget our CAD meeting, right? That's Saturday, one day before. So all of the details are on the beginning of this live stream or on our membership tab on YouTube. That's where you'll find the Zoom link and all of that information. All right, so have a great rest of the day and see you next Sunday.